You might believe that your life is the product of conscious choices, hard work, and chance. But what if the truth is far more subtle, far more profound? Invisible forces, patterns beyond perception, silently dictate the trajectory of your days, your thoughts, even your destiny. These forces are not mystical. They are scientific in their essence, rooted in the fundamental structure of the universe itself. Every thought you think, every emotion you entertain interacts with this unseen field, shaping outcomes in ways most people never notice. Consider for a moment the life of someone who seems unstoppable, someone who consistently achieves, grows, and transforms. It's rarely a matter of luck alone. There is an alignment happening at a level invisible to the eye, a hidden orchestration of energy, consciousness, and potential. Your reality is not simply out there waiting to be discovered. It is a reflection of these invisible currents, bending and shaping according to what you allow to take root inside your mind and heart. These forces are subtle, almost imperceptible, but they are relentless. Imagine them as the currents of a deep hidden river. On the surface, life may seem calm, predictable, and under your control. Yet beneath, there is movement, a flow that carries some people to extraordinary heights while others remain stuck, struggling unaware of the underlying stream. Most people swim against it unknowingly, exhausting themselves, frustrated and blind to the patterns that govern their outcomes. But those who understand it can navigate with precision, leveraging the currents rather than fighting them. This invisible force does not respond to effort alone. You can work hard, plan meticulously, and follow every conventional strategy, yet without understanding the hidden laws at play, your efforts may yield only mediocre results. The universe, in its quantum subtlety, responds to the alignment of thought, intention, and awareness. When these elements converge, doors open, opportunities appear, and synchronicities multiply. When they are misaligned, obstacles seem to materialize out of nowhere, and progress stalls. Now, here's the most powerful insight. Recognizing that these forces exist is your first step toward mastery. Awareness alone is a lever that begins to shift the balance of power. By observing, understanding, and intentionally interacting with the invisible currents, you gain the ability to influence outcomes previously thought beyond your control. This is not magic. It is science, a science that the world has ignored in favor of linear thinking, simple cause and effect, and superficial effort. Today, you have the opportunity to see your life differently. The forces shaping your reality are not abstract. They are tangible, measurable, and accessible to anyone willing to learn their language. The question is simple. Will you remain at the mercy of unseen patterns, drifting where they take you, or will you begin the deliberate practice of mastering the invisible currents that hold the key to your true potential? The moment you recognize these forces, the moment you accept that life is more than what meets the eye, you step into a new dimension of possibility. This is the first step toward breaking free from limitations and taking control of the life you were always meant to lead. Every choice you make, no matter how small it seems, is far more powerful than you realize. Behind the scenes of your life, at the level of quantum reality itself, each decision sets off ripples that shape your future in ways you cannot yet see. The universe is not a passive stage waiting for events to unfold. It is a dynamic, responsive field interacting with your consciousness at every moment. Every thought, every intention, every hesitation is a vibration that touches this hidden network of possibilities. Understanding this is the key to taking control of your destiny. Think of a single moment of decision, the choice to speak up, to act, or to step back. In isolation, it seems insignificant, almost trivial. Yet within the quantum field of reality, this moment is enormous. Each choice collapses a multitude of potential outcomes into the reality you experience. In other words, your very awareness and your decisions are active forces, shaping not just your life, but the subtle fabric of the universe around you. This is not metaphor. This is quantum truth. Observation and intention affect outcome. Now, most people underestimate the magnitude of their own power, They act as though life is linear, a straight path from cause to effect. But in the quantum world, life is probabilistic. Every thought generates waves of potential, and each action collapses those waves into a specific reality. You might not see it immediately, but patterns emerge. The small, consistent decisions you make, aligned with conscious awareness, accumulate and compound, creating outcomes that once seemed impossible. Here is the secret. You are both the observer and the participant. Your decisions are not merely reactions. They are instruments that shape the field of reality. If you make choices without awareness, you surrender your influence to randomness and external forces. But when you make decisions intentionally, aligned with purpose and clarity, you begin to steer the invisible currents in your favor. This is the essence of mastery, recognizing that your decision is never just a decision. It is a quantum event that alters the very structure of your life. Let's break this down practically. When you choose fear, hesitation, or doubt, you amplify the probability of stagnation, limitation, and missed opportunity. Conversely, when you choose clarity, courage, and focused action, you increase the probability of breakthroughs, growth, and success. This principle is universal, impartial, and unyielding. It does not care about your circumstances, background, or previous failures. It responds only to the alignment between your choices and your awareness. Understanding the quantum nature of decision-making transforms the way you live. Every moment becomes an opportunity, every choice becomes a lever, and every intention carries weight beyond imagination. You no longer drift passively, you participate in the creation of reality itself. The question now is simple. Will you continue to make choices unconsciously, allowing life to shape you? Or will you step into the profound responsibility and the incredible power of becoming the conscious architect of your own existence? Recognizing this quantum secret is the doorway to transformation. It is here, in this understanding, that ordinary life becomes extraordinary. Your mind is the most powerful instrument in the universe, but it can also be your most restrictive prison. From the moment you were born, society, family, and culture began planting seeds of belief, shaping your perception of what is possible and what is not. Many of these beliefs are invisible, unconscious, yet they govern your decisions, your confidence, and the trajectory of your life. They are the chains that hold you back, and breaking them is essential to stepping into your true potential. Most people live under the illusion that their limitations are external. They blame circumstances, luck, or other people for their stagnation. Yet the real obstacle is far subtler. It is the inherited mental programs you have accepted without question. These beliefs dictate what you will attempt, how you respond to failure, and even how you perceive opportunities. Until you identify and confront them, they operate in the background, silently steering your life away from greatness. The first step in breaking these chains is awareness. Begin observing the narratives you tell yourself, what you believe about your worth, your ability, your potential. Ask yourself, are these beliefs truly mine, or are they inherited from someone else's fear, limitation, or doubt? Often, the answer will surprise you. The mind by nature resists change. It clings to old beliefs because familiarity feels safe, even if that safety is an illusion. Yet comfort is not freedom. It is a subtle trap, a cage that hides your full power. Once you identify a limiting belief, the next step is deliberate challenge. Test it against reality, against evidence, against possibility. If you believe you are not creative, take one small action that proves otherwise. If you believe failure defines you, actively pursue an endeavor that risks failure but promises growth. By confronting beliefs through action, you begin the process of breaking neural pathways that have reinforced limitation for years. Each small victory chips away at the mental chains, building momentum toward liberation. But breaking old beliefs is not merely an intellectual exercise, it is an emotional journey. You must be willing to feel the discomfort, the resistance, and even fear that arises when you confront the familiar. Growth always triggers discomfort because the mind instinctively defends the status quo. Yet this resistance is not a signal to stop. It is a confirmation that transformation is underway. Your courage is measured not by the absence of fear, but by your willingness to move forward despite it. Finally, replace old beliefs with principles that empower. The universe responds to thought and attention. What you feed your mind becomes your reality. Adopt beliefs that expand your vision, strengthen your resilience, and ignite your potential. These new beliefs act as scaffolding for your future achievements, enabling quantum leaps that were previously unimaginable. Breaking the chains of old beliefs is not a one-time event. It is a continuous process, a lifelong practice of awareness, challenge, and reconstruction. Each belief you shed creates space for greater understanding, deeper insight, and the ability to navigate life with intention and power. This is the path to freedom, the path to becoming the conscious architect of your destiny, and the foundation for every transformation yet to come. One of the most powerful principles in the universe is deceptively simple. Energy follows consciousness. Every thought, every focus, every intention you direct carries an invisible force that interacts with the world around you. This is not abstract philosophy. It is the observable nature of reality at its most fundamental level. What you choose to concentrate on consciously or unconsciously shapes the flow of your life. Your energy does not wander aimlessly. It moves with purpose wherever your consciousness is directed. Think about it. When you worry, obsess, or fixate on negativity, your energy aligns with what you resist. You inadvertently feed the very circumstances you want to escape. Conversely, when your attention is deliberate, focused, and aligned with purpose, you activate forces that amplify possibilities, attract opportunities, and generate momentum toward your goals. The law is impartial. It responds not to desire alone, but to the directed intensity of your awareness. This is why so many people feel stuck despite working tirelessly. They are expending energy, yes, but without conscious focus, their efforts scatter. Their attention is fragmented, divided among distractions, doubts, and fears. Imagine trying to light a fire by scattering sparks in every direction. Some energy is released, but nothing catches, nothing sustains. Conscious alignment, however, channels your energy like a laser, intense, precise, and transformative. This is the difference between ordinary effort and extraordinary results. Energy follows consciousness not only in external actions but also within the mind. Your thoughts act as magnetic fields, drawing experiences, relationships, and resources in accordance with what dominates your inner world. A mind clouded by fear attracts obstacles. A mind centered on clarity attracts solutions. A mind convinced of limitation manifests barriers. A mind focused on potential opens doors. The universe mirrors back the energy you emit, not in judgment, but in natural consequence. To harness this principle, begin by observing where your consciousness currently resides. Are your thoughts scattered among regret, worry, or distraction? If so, you are inadvertently feeding the patterns you wish to escape. Next, intentionally redirect focus toward what you want to create, not what you fear. This is not wishful thinking. It is a deliberate act of energy management. Each sustained focus strengthens neural pathways, aligns vibrational patterns, and creates a momentum that reshapes reality in your favor. Action, guided by conscious focus, multiplies this effect exponentially. It is not enough to think with awareness, you must act with intent. Energy follows consciousness, but it moves fastest when combined with aligned, decisive action. In this way, thought, awareness, and behavior coalesce into a coherent force, capable of producing extraordinary outcomes. Understand this: freedom and transformation are not a matter of chance. They are a matter of alignment. Where your consciousness goes, your energy will follow, and where your energy flows, your life will transform. Master this principle, and you step into the profound ability to direct your reality. The currents of possibility respond to your attention, and by deliberately choosing what you focus on, you begin to shape a life that reflects not circumstance, but conscious creation. Self-awareness is far more than reflection. It is a force that actively shapes your reality. The act of observing yourself, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions is not passive. it is transformative. In quantum terms, the observer affects the observed. In life, this principle translates into an undeniable truth. The way you perceive yourself directly impacts the world you experience. Every moment you become aware of your patterns, habits, and reactions, you gain the ability to alter outcomes that once seemed inevitable. Consider this. Most people move through life unconsciously, reacting to situations, repeating patterns, and surrendering control to external circumstances. Their inner world operates on autopilot, shaped by past conditioning and societal expectation. But when you step into the role of observer, everything changes. You no longer blindly follow impulses. You examine them, question them, and begin to respond deliberately. Observation creates a pause between stimulus and response, and in that pause lies your power to choose. The process of observing yourself starts with attention. Notice your thoughts as if you were an outsider, watching the patterns unfold. Observe, without judgment, without condemnation. Awareness is not about criticizing yourself. It is about understanding the machinery of your mind. Every emotion, every automatic reaction, every recurring belief becomes visible under the light of observation. And once it is visible, it is no longer hidden. It can be addressed, refined, and transformed. Observation also extends to your actions and their effects. By monitoring the results of your behaviors, you begin to see what aligns with your goals and what sabotages them. Most people never make this connection. They act and hope rather than act and learn. But conscious observation turns every experience into data, every failure into insight, every success into a blueprint. This is how mastery is achieved, by creating a feedback loop of awareness, reflection, and adjustment. Emotionally, observing, yourself cultivates control and resilience. When you witness your reactions without being consumed by them, fear loses its grip, doubt loses its intensity, and indecision becomes clarity. The observer mindset empowers you to navigate challenges with a calm, calculated approach rather than being swept away by reactive energy. This is the subtle yet profound way that self-awareness transforms your internal landscape, which in turn reshapes your external reality. Finally, self-observation leads to intentional transformation. Once you understand your current state, you can choose the state you want to embody. You are no longer a passenger in your life. You are an active participant, capable of recalibrating your mind, your energy, and your focus. The act of observation is both the key and the tool. It illuminates the path, reveals the forces at play, and grants the power to step deliberately into the future you desire. Remember, life is not something that happens to you. It is something you co-create. The moment you commit to observing yourself consistently, you begin to collapse old patterns, redirect energy, and consciously shape the trajectory of your life. In this practice, every thought and action becomes intentional, every choice becomes powerful, and every moment becomes an opportunity to design a reality that reflects not circumstance but conscious creation. Potential is abundant. Every person carries within them countless possibilities, dreams, and untapped talents. Yet potential alone is meaningless unless it is transformed into reality. The bridge between what could be and what is lies in the deliberate alignment of intention, action, and awareness. The universe presents infinite possibilities, but only those you actively engage with, nurture, and direct will manifest into tangible results. Understanding this principle is critical to moving from dreaming to achieving, from imagining to living. Too often, people mistake mere desire for progress. They fantasize, they plan, they intend, yet they remain trapped in the world of possibility. Possibilities are like raw energy. They exist, but they are unformed until attention and effort shape them into reality. Every quantum of potential requires focus, consistency, and courage to transform into something observable. Without this intentional process, potential dissipates like untapped energy, never leaving the realm of what might have been. The first step is clarity. You must define exactly what you want to bring into existence. A vague dream produces vague outcomes. Specificity acts as a lens, concentrating your energy and consciousness on one achievable target. When your mind is clear, every action you take can be measured against this target. The universe, in its subtle yet precise responsiveness, aligns itself with focused intention. Clarity does not just improve efficiency, it initiates the quantum process that collapses multiple possibilities into a single, observable reality. Next comes alignment. Thoughts, emotions, and actions must move in synchrony. A person may desire success, yet harbor fear or self-doubt. These conflicting forces generate internal friction, scattering energy and weakening manifestation. Alignment is about harmonizing your inner world with your goals. When your beliefs, emotions, and efforts resonate together, they create a coherent field of influence capable of bending circumstances in your favor. This is the moment when possibility begins to crystallize into reality. Action is the essential multiplier. Even the clearest intentions, perfectly aligned, remain inert without effort. Action transforms abstract potential into measurable outcomes. Importantly, action must be deliberate and consistent, not sporadic or reactive. Each step you take, no matter how small, activates momentum. In quantum terms, each effort collapses the wave of potential closer to its material form. Repetition compounds this effect, creating exponential growth that quickly surpasses what you initially imagined possible. Finally, observation and adaptation complete the cycle. Reality is dynamic, and even the best aligned actions require course corrections. By observing results and adjusting strategies, you refine the manifestation process, ensuring that potential consistently translates into reality. The combination of clarity, alignment, action, and adaptation is not accidental. It is a replicable formula for transforming possibility into achievement. The universe is abundant with opportunity, but only those who understand this process can claim it. Possibility becomes reality not by wish or hope, but through conscious design, deliberate effort, and unwavering alignment. Once you grasp this principle, you no longer drift passively. You actively participate in creation itself. The moment you commit to moving possibilities into reality, you step out of uncertainty and into the precise, unstoppable flow of achievement. Life is not random. Chaos is only an illusion created by our limited perception. Beneath the surface of every event, every relationship, every success or failure, lies a network of patterns, consistent, predictable, and powerful. These patterns exist in every aspect of reality, from the smallest particle to the vastest galaxy. Understanding and aligning with them is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of observation, study, and conscious application. Recognizing these hidden structures allows you to move with the universe rather than against it, unlocking opportunities that most people never even see. Consider nature for a moment. A tree grows not haphazardly. It follows precise cycles of energy, sunlight, and water. The tides follow gravitational patterns. Even the tiniest subatomic particle moves according to fundamental rules. Life itself operates according to similar, underlying principles. Every pattern is a blueprint, a guidepost that indicates how energy flows and where attention should be directed. Those who recognize these patterns gain foresight, leverage, and an advantage in navigating life's complexities. The first step in recognizing patterns is observation. Begin to notice recurring themes in your own life, the circumstances, choices, and outcomes that appear repeatedly. Are there relationships that always drain you? Are there decisions that consistently yield success? These repetitions are not coincidences. They are signals, indicators of underlying structures and dynamics. When you see them clearly, you gain the ability to predict outcomes, avoid pitfalls, and align your energy with what naturally produces success. Next, understand the universality of patterns. Just as physics operates according to predictable laws, human behavior, opportunity, and energy follow similar rules. Habits, for example, are patterns of thought and action. Success is often the result of replicable sequences, not random flashes of brilliance. By studying these patterns, you can model outcomes that you desire, shortening the path from intention to manifestation. Patterns exist everywhere. They are the code of reality. And learning to read this code is one of the most powerful tools for transformation. Applying this understanding requires precision. Once a pattern is recognized, you can adjust your focus, actions, and energy to align with it. This is not about controlling everything. It is about working intelligently within the structures that already exist. For example, if a certain approach consistently leads to progress, amplify it. If a habit produces stagnation, replace it. The universe responds not to random effort, but to deliberate alignment with its underlying rhythms. Finally, the mastery of patterns transforms uncertainty into power. You begin to see that setbacks are not failures. They are signals, feedback from the universe pointing you toward alignment. Opportunities become predictable, decisions become clearer, and life begins to flow with efficiency and ease. Recognizing patterns is not just a cognitive skill, it is a quantum lever, allowing you to bend circumstances in your favor by acting in harmony with the natural order of reality. In essence, life's hidden patterns are the scaffolding of possibility. Those who identify and align with them move faster, achieve more, and manifest outcomes that others deem impossible. The universe is speaking constantly. It leaves clues in repetition, in rhythm, and in consequence. The moment you start noticing, studying, and applying these patterns, you step into a reality where success is no longer a gamble. It is an inevitable outcome of conscious alignment. Change is not a sudden lightning strike. It is a precise, measurable, and deliberate process. The illusion that transformation happens overnight keeps most people trapped in cycles of frustration and disappointment. True change is a science, subtle yet absolute, operating at the intersection of thought, energy, and action. To master it, you must understand the mechanisms that govern both your inner world and the outer reality it creates. Only then can you intentionally shape your life instead of being swept along by circumstance. At the core of change is alignment. Change occurs when your thoughts, emotions, and behaviors move in harmony toward a defined goal. Misalignment, wanting one thing but thinking another, feeling contradictory emotions, or taking inconsistent actions creates friction and dissipates energy. The universe responds not to wishful thinking but to coherent, focused energy. When all elements of your being are synchronized, even the smallest effort triggers profound shifts, collapsing potential into observable results with unprecedented speed. The first step in mastering change is awareness of your current state. Observe your habits, your reactions, your patterns of thought. Identify what no longer serves you, beliefs that limit, routines that drain, attachments that stall growth. Awareness alone begins to weaken old patterns because what is observed can be altered. You cannot change what remains hidden, and ignoring this step is why so many attempts at transformation fail. Conscious observation illuminates the areas of resistance and prepares them for deliberate restructuring. Next, cultivate clarity about what you want to become. Change requires a target, a precise vision. The more defined your goal, the easier it is for your energy to align. Ambiguous desires produce scattered results. Clear objectives act as magnetic fields, pulling your consciousness and energy toward their manifestation. This clarity allows you to recognize the steps, resources, and adjustments necessary to move forward efficiently, turning what once seemed impossible into a calculated and achievable process. Action is the amplifier. Subtle. Understanding without practical application is ineffective. Each deliberate step, each decision, each experiment, each small victory creates momentum. The science of change relies on compounding progress. Incremental, consistent actions, rooted in awareness and clarity, produce results that accumulate exponentially. This is not luck, it is methodical, scientific alignment with the natural laws that govern reality. Finally, adapt and refine. Change is dynamic. The path from current state to desired reality is rarely linear. Feedback from the environment, unexpected obstacles, and shifts in circumstance provide valuable information. Observing, adjusting, and recalibrating your approach ensures that your energy remains aligned with your objective. Resistance is not failure, it is a guidepost. Each adjustment increases efficiency, accelerates progress, and brings you closer to mastery. Mastering the subtle science of change transforms uncertainty into power. It allows you to move deliberately, to design your life with precision, and to manifest outcomes that others perceive as extraordinary. The universe does not resist you. It responds to the coherence and focus of your energy. The moment you understand this principle, every change becomes predictable, achievable, and within your control. You step into the rare realm where transformation is no longer a gamble, but a reproducible scientific process.